All right, today we are jumping right into a linguistic detective story. Seriously, we're on the hunt for a sound that millions of people make every single day. It's a sound that actually defines the rhythm of entire languages. But, and get this, until very recently, it didn't even have a name. It's been hiding in plain sight, and we're about to figure out how.
So I want you to think about this for a second. What if one of the most common sounds in the world just had no official name? It sounds completely impossible, doesn't it? I mean, linguists have mapped pretty much every grunt, click, and hum our mouths can make. But what if they just flat out missed one?
Think about the sound of Spanish. It has this gorgeous flowing quality, right? A kind of legato rhythm that you can spot a mile away. For centuries, we were all pretty sure we knew what created that sound. But what if the secret sauce behind it has been completely misunderstood this whole time?
Okay, so let's get into the weeds here. To find our mystery sound, we first have to prove that it doesn't fit anywhere else. We've got to crack the phonetic code and see why the old labels just don't work. So where are these elusive sounds hiding? Well, they're in some of the most common Spanish words imaginable. We're looking at the B, D, and G sounds, specifically when they show up between two vowels. Think of the B in lobo, the D in nada, or the G in ago. They're so soft, right? They almost glide. But what are they? So here's our first suspect. Could they be plosives, like in English B? A plosive, or a stop, is exactly what it sounds like. It stops the air, builds up pressure, and then releases it in a little explosion. Think of the B in a boat. But the Spanish B in lobo, it's totally different. The air just keeps on flowing. There's no stop. So, nope, they can't be plosives. Strike one.
Okay, fine. So if they're not plosives, maybe they're approximants? Like the English W sound? For an approximant, your lips or tongue get really close, but they never actually touch. There's always an open channel for the air. And for a long time, this was the best guess people had, but then technology gave us a peek inside the mouth. Ultrasound studies proved it. The articulators do make contact. It's super brief, super light, but they definitely touch. So they can't be approximants either. Strike two. And this table just lays the whole puzzle out perfectly. Look at this. Does our mystery Spanish sound have a full stop, like a plosive? No. Does it have no contact, like an approximate? No again. But it does have continuous airflow, and it does have contact. It's like it cherry-picked features from both categories, but doesn't belong in either. It's a phonetic ghost. It exists, but we literally have no box to put it in. So what do you do when the old models just fall apart? Well, you come up with a new one. And that brings us to this brilliant breakthrough idea from a linguist named Colin D. Chu, which he calls the swinging door theory. Okay, the official name for this new category is elastic closure. And here's the gist. It's when your lips or tongue make contact, but your breath is so continuous that it immediately pushes them open again. This creates this incredibly fast, rhythmic little touch and release pattern. The absolute key here is that the airflow and the voicing never stop. It's not about holding a position. It's about this dynamic dance with your own breath. Now, to really wrap your head around this, let's use Chu's incredible analogy. Think of a plosive, that English B, as a heavy door with a solid latch. Your muscles are that latch. They're holding your lips shut against the force of your breath. Pressure builds up, and then you use more muscle to force that door open with a burst of air. It's deliberate, it's controlled, it's muscular. But elastic closure? Oh, this is a whole different world. Picture a light swinging door, like in an old Western saloon, with a constant breeze blowing through. That breeze is your continuous breath. The door just lightly taps the frame for a split second. That's the contact. But the wind is always there, so it immediately pushes it open again. Tap open, tap open, tap open. It just flutters as long as that breeze is blowing. And that is the big aha moment. So really, it all boils down to one simple question. What's in control? For English-style plosives, the control is muscular. You actively stop the air and you actively release it. But for these Spanish elastic closures, the control is aerodynamic. Your breath stream does all the work, managing the rhythm of the contact all on its own. It's a total paradigm shift. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory for linguistics nerds. This has huge real-world consequences. In fact, it might just be the key to solving one of the most famous problems in language learning, the stereotypical Gringo accent. And this quote from Chu just nails it.
Language teachers for decades have been telling students to soften their consonants, but what does that even mean? It's so vague. The real solution, the actual physical mechanism, is to switch from muscular control to aerodynamic control. You just have to keep the air flowing and let your breath do the work. So, what actually is the Gringo accent? It's an English speaker just doing what comes naturally to them. They use muscle to create hard stops. They put these tiny little pauses, glottal stops between words, which breaks the airflow. And when you do that, you turn what should be a smooth, flowing elastic closure into a series of choppy, disconnected plosives. And that's what creates that kind of percussive, almost robotic rhythm that just sounds wrong in Spanish. And what's just incredible is how much this one idea explains. It's not just about one little sound. Elastic closure is the reason for the entire smooth legato feel of Spanish. It's why words link together so seamlessly. And get this, it even explains the notoriously difficult Spanish trilled R. That's not some crazy muscular vibration. It's just elastic closure happening really, really fast. The tongue is just passively fluttering in the airstream like a flag in the wind. It's physics. You see, figuring out elastic closure isn't just about learning Spanish better. This is big. This opens up a whole new chapter in phonetics, the actual science of how we speak. For decades, the standard model has taught that there are four main ways we shape air to make consonant sounds: plosives, fricatives, approximants, and nasals. That's been the textbook answer forever. Well, now Chow is proposing we add a fifth: elastic closures. This finally gives a name and a home to these sounds that have been wandering in the phonetic desert for so long. It fills a huge gap we didn't even know we had. And that, of course, leads to the most exciting question of all. If this sound was hiding in plain sight in Spanish, one of the most studied languages on Earth, where else might it be hiding? The hunt is officially on. Linguists are now starting to look at other languages that have that same kind of smooth, syllable-timed rhythm. Early suspects include Italian, Portuguese, maybe even Japanese. This fifth sound, this elastic closure, could be way more common than anyone ever thought. It was just invisible because we kept trying to cram it into the wrong boxes. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? We spend our entire lives talking, but we almost never stop to think about the insane biomechanical dance of air and muscle that makes it all happen. The discovery of elastic closure just proves that even in the most familiar, everyday human activity, there are still these massive secrets just waiting to be discovered. How many more are out there, hiding in our own voices,